shalt disappear in that which produced thee, but rather thou shalt be received back into its seminal principle by transmutation. Many grains of frankincense on the same altar. One falls before, another falls after, but it makes no difference. Within 10 days, thou wilt seem a god to those to whom thou art now a beast and an ape. If thou wilt return to thy principles and the worship of reason, do not act as if thou wert going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over thee. While thou livest, while it is in thy power, be good. How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does of things, but only to what he does himself, and it may be just and pure. Or as Agathon says, look not round at the depraved morals of others, but run straight along the line without deviating from it. He who has a vehement desire for posthumous fame does not consider that every one of those who remember him will himself also die very soon. Then again also they who have succeeded them, till the whole remembrance shall have been extinguished, as it is transmitted through men who foolishly admire, perish. But suppose that those who will remember are even immortal, that the remembrance will be immortal. But then is this to thee? And I say not what it is to the dead, but what is it to the living? What is praise accepted
division
so
is
far as it is
completely acceptable and okay with some exclusions. And one of those exclusions is that it's not okay to assassinate someone anytime, any reason for their words. That we don't want division on. You see, sometimes the problem with what I find with political movements is their message is too complicated. I'm not going to give examples. I believe what me, Marshall, Denise, and others are saying is a very simple message. And you're right, we don't want division in that message. It's never, under any circumstances whatsoever, to assassinate someone because of their words. And you know what? Let me. I played this earlier in the critical thinking room. This, of course, is the after party. Give me like 45 seconds.
I understand it until a few hours ago. America isn't easy. America is advanced citizenship. You've got to want it bad, because it's going to it's going to say, you want speech? Let's see you acknowledge a man whose words make your blood boil, standing center stage and advocating at the top of his lungs that which you would spend a lifetime opposing at the top of yours. You want to claim this land as a land of the free? Then the symbol of your country cannot just be a flag. The symbol also has to be one of its citizens exercising his right to burn that flag in protest. Now show me that. Defend that. Celebrate that in your classrooms.
Our message is very simple, very short, and very clear. It is never, ever, under any circumstances whatsoever acceptable to assassinate somebody because of their words.
Yes, Steve. As I've watched today, my family, I think, as you know, are very line with law enforcement, right? My husband spent over 35 years protecting our home ground here in
Thank
three
you.
different cities.
Thank you for the service.
Yep, absolutely. And to see that this, I say child because he's the same age as my son, for his father to go in and resign, put down his badge, give back his gun. He said, I can't do my job anymore today. If you follow anybody on Facebook, follow the Thin Blue Line if you want to know this type of information. But I mean, we've been in law enforcement talking to each other pretty much for the last week now. We're going to be coming right back up to Wednesday real soon. And I mean, that father is going to grieve the rest of his life because he had to make that should never for a parent have to be made. He had to call in his friends with the U.S. Marshal. Let's get him in before he gets killed going in, to custody. But I mean, guys, there's not one human on earth that I would ever in my life dream of just taking out. And to watch these young kids, I've listened to friends, their kids are making like these little things on Fortnite of killing Charlie and all this stuff. These weird people are out there doing. Pay attention to your kids. Pay attention to what they're saying. Talk to them because weird stuff going around, and it's very sad for our country.
My opinion. You know why these types of conversations didn't happen when Brian Thompson was assassinated? I said earlier, half the people in here don't know who Brian Thompson is, but I guarantee you everybody pretty much knows who Luigi Mangione was. He was the guy that shot that CEO from the insurance company of United. That was Brian Thompson. But guess what? Brian Thompson was a quiet man. He did his job. He didn't have tens of millions of followers like Kirk had. And that's why we're having the discussions now. Kirk's a famous dude. Brian Thompson was just doing his job. But guess what? They both had a wife and they both had kids. And they were both just doing an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Yet Brian Thompson, the talk really didn't come around. But with Kirk now, you're getting it all. The message is simple. It's never, ever, no matter what, acceptable to assassinate somebody because of their words.
And the extension of that, it's also not acceptable to fire somebody because they put a quote from Charlie Kirk on Facebook. Like that is equally unacceptable. Like, we have to believe that people are free. They're free to have a different opinion than you have. They're free to have a different experience of someone. One thing that has become painfully true to me in this whole exercise is the fact that we do not have the same internet. We don't see the same clips. We don't have access to the same information. We are being pitted against each other. So, allow people the freedom to process their experience of someone the way they choose to. And if you don't like it, you don't have to engage with that person. But I think having a full-on witch hunt of anybody who disagreed or who found what Charlie Kirk said offensive, I feel like that is un-American. Like, I don't know. I just think we can't do revisionist history. Everybody's going to have to be honest of the points and the places that they were hypocritical, that they went too far. I think we've all kind of gone too far, right? And how do we move forward? We have to there's going to have to just be some integrity, just being honest, right? And if we can do that, even with our best intentions, this is still going to be incredibly difficult because we are intentional. Our rage is being monetized. Somebody is cashing in chips right now because we're clicking on the worst, most hateful things that come across our desk.
Oh,
right? That come across our screen.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Finish up. I'm sorry.
No, and that's it. So like, it's like we have to be smarter than the algorithm that is intentionally pulling us apart. And I know that's not easy to do. It's incredibly hard to do. But if we don't like take kind of like a personal responsibility and a specific intention around that, we're gonna lose a whole generation of young people. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that happen.
For those of you, you can. I'll be very quick, and yes, you can. You that are wondering why Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are reacting the way they are, and whether you agree or disagree, I'll tell you why. It's very simple. It's not that complicated. They're attempting to get more votes in the next election. Now, maybe you're someone who says, oh, well, it's going to backfire on them. Well, maybe it will. But they've got the research. They've got the people behind them. They've got the algorithms that Denise mentioned. And I guarantee you 100% that the reason why Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are talking the way they are is because they believe it's going to get them more votes. Period. End of story. Who wanted to go next?
It was me, Steve. I'm Miriam.
Please do.
Thanks. I wanted to quickly respond to Denise. I agree with you, but there's always the caveat to, private businesses and rules of engagement and HR policy manuals and code of ethics. So to an extent, I agree. But once you get to that point where you're an employee, there's a code of conduct, you're signing it, there are some regulations that within a business setting. However, on the flip side, you have people like Representative Randy Fine, who's actively tweeting out, I want the names of everyone on every platform, that is saying anything derogatory in any way, shape, or form, not even celebrating, just anything. I want to know who they are, and we're going to get them fired. Keep up the good work, everybody. Then you've got, and I really can't believe this one came out from Representative Clay Higgins, because I always know him to be like a hardcore constitutionalist. In fact, he's always talked about being a House rep because he believes that the House side is the protector of the Constitution.